Today I'm joined by Rogan, the athletic director of Lakeland College, and he is here today to recap what a fantastic year it was this past year, as well as the upcoming season for all of the Lakeland Rustlers teams. And so thank you so much for being with me today, Alan, and of course all the teams being very accommodating throughout all of these years with us here at Primetime Local News.
Yeah, no, it's great to be here. It was a great year, and it's a good start to the new year for sure. So.
All right, so let's start with the big news that happened, or the big events that happened this year was the women's basketball team and you guys hosting the women's basketball CCAA Nationals. Just two things that came together, and both were so exciting and so magical with the finish of winning, getting to host, and also the girls winning the national championship for the first time here in this last few years. And so just tell me about that and how exciting and how financially the impact was for the Nationals as well.
Yeah, no, so hosting Nationals, we don't get the opportunity to host it often. We compete against a lot of other institutions across the province and across the country. It rolls around every 5 years to our conference. So to being able to host a national championship here in Lloydminster is great. We knew that being given the ability to host, our community just always steps up when we're able to host. So the event itself was incredible. Every team that came had nothing but rave reviews to say about what we were able to do, and the community. It was great, and of course the pinnacle, I guess, the cherry on top was our women's basketball team being able to win at home their first national title a week after our women's volleyball won back-to-back. So it was a pretty intense time period with playoffs, and then finishing it off with our women's basketball team winning a national title at home. It was fantastic. Like, I think we won 5 conference titles last year and 2 national titles within a 2-week period. So it was a phenomenal year for sure.
And you mentioned the women's team getting the back-to-back national wins. It's been a really big thing here in my time here in Lloydminster that volleyball has continued to rise and rise and has become a very popular sport in this town. And have you seen that not only with how much better your teams have been getting over these past few years, but also just how much more the community has been supporting and what the Dyers have done for volleyball in this community? You
bet. When the Dyers moved into Lloydminster, club volleyball, there wasn't a lot of club volleyball. There were some good high school programs for sure. And they became very invested in making sure that youth in the community had an opportunity on the volleyball side if they were interested in that sport. And they've been really able to grow club volleyball in this community where, there's so many kids playing club volleyball, whether with our program or others in this geographical area. It's been great. It's good to see kids playing sport. And we're able to see some of those student athletes transition from playing club with our club into playing on our teams, and there's also other student athletes that have gone on to play with other post-secondaries across, not just in Alberta, but across the entire country. So giving those local community youth an opportunity to go and play past high school is a goal for sure, and if we can get some of those young men and women playing volleyball for our teams, that's even great. So. And just
going back to the volleyball teams though, the women's team continued their dominance. Another win. They've looked very good as well, starting off this season. And then the men's team, best season in program history. Just talk to me about how the Dyers, for just the Rustlers, how they've been able to develop the programs, and the men's and women's team looking better and better every year and being nationally ranked nowadays.
Yeah, you bet. You're able to stick around with the program. You're able to retain coaches for a period of time. They are able to build a culture, a positive culture with the student athletes, and then you build a reputation. And being able to retain coaches, whether it's with their volleyball program or other programs, we've been able to build that positive culture, which student athletes want to come and compete for us. And with that comes winning. And the Dyer brothers have been able to do that on the volleyball side, as well as all of our other coaches in soccer and volleyball and hockey. They built that culture first, and then the wins come out of that. And that's what we've been able to see from a lot of our programs. And it kind of proves for itself, right? With women's volleyball back-to-back national titles, men's volleyball having the best finish ever last year. A lot of teams back this year. So we're pretty excited to see what they can do this year, and we're going to be hosting the ACAC Championships at home this year. So in front of our gym is a definite advantage for our teams when they play at home, and we're hoping that we'll see even a better finish this year from our men's team. So.
And you mentioned some of those other teams that had done very good and maybe not getting the ACAC championship, but getting the silver medal in women's hockey. You know, the men's basketball team was bronze this year, and then there was also the curling team that did very well this year as well. And so with some of those newer programs, with the hockey team and Doyle Church taking over as the women's soccer coach, how is it seeing those new programs developing and gaining a lot of traction as time has gone on over these last few years?
Yeah, you bet. Our curling program seems poised to be winning one conference banner every year, which has been great. They had success last year. They're competing in their first event coming up here this weekend in November. With our hockey program, to get the start that they have in the ACAC is very rare. It's a true testament to the leadership of that program and just the community getting behind our women's hockey program and saying, yeah, we're going to be there for you. So I think everybody combined has really allowed our women's hockey program to get to the level they are quite quickly. And where they are right now, they're sitting, I think 8-0 right now, or 10-0 right now, and having a great start to the season. And silver medal last year, and it could have went either way. They could have been champions last year as well. So our women's hockey program's done some great things, and just not on the ice, but in the community, in the classroom as well. So like all of our programs, as sort of the proud papa, I'm pretty proud of all of our athletic teams and everything they've been able to do and accomplish over the years, and what they're doing this year.
And so looking ahead into this coming winter and into March, you mentioned that the men's volleyball will be hosting the ACAC championships, but you guys are also hosting both men's and women's futsal championships. So it's not the national championship, but being able to host 3 ACAC championships, and possibly with, depending on how good the women's basketball team does, you could also be hosting those championships as well. And just how exciting that is to be bringing fans from different sports to Lloydminster from all across Alberta to enjoy high-quality college sport.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure what I was thinking when we were at the table last year at the AGM and we put in bids for championships, but you're right, we're definitely going to be hosting men's volleyball, we're going to be hosting men's and women's futsal. There's a really good chance we're going to be hosting women's basketball. We'll know that in January. And then with our women's hockey program doing as well as they are right now, there's a good chance to be hosting women's hockey playoff games inside that same 3-week period, so we could be hosting 5 championships in 3 weeks. It's going to be a lot of work, and it's great to bring that to our community here, because one thing we know we have in this Lloydminster area, this community, is that we got great fan support and we got great volunteer support. So when we host events like this, or multiple events like this, we know that our community is going to come out and they're going to support us, and like they always have, and it's just a great thing to be part of this community. It just elevates the experience for student athletes that are here competing in our teams, as well as those student athletes to come from other communities and other institutions to compete in our community. And it's an advantage for us, obviously, but it's still a great experience for anybody coming in to see our fans and the experience they can get when they come here to compete in our facility during a championship.
Well, thank you so much for all the information and for helping us out here with the Lakeland Rustlers and having such great sports for us to cover here in the community. Thank you so much for having us out all the time and having such a great season this year, and a very exciting season coming up for 2025 as well.